Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining today's Learning Lab. Firstly, just want to start with with some apologies there that we're running a little bit later. We had a few technical issues there at the start, but we've got everything resolved now. So once again, thank you for joining our Learning Lab today. Today we're going to be taking you through how to streamline your close process with automated prepaid expense amortization. Bit of a mouthful, but just before we get started on today's Learning Lab, let me just take you through some introductions and some housekeeping as well. If you could just pop to the next. Yeah, perfect. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Fiona. I work in the customer success team here at Acuity, and taking us through today's session will be Noni. Noni is a pre-sales consultant. Some housekeeping. So for those of you who've not joined a Learning Lab before, you'll notice that there is the GoToWebinar panel at the side of your screen, at the right-hand side of the screen. Your microphones throughout the session will be muted, but on the GoToWebinar panel there, you can type in any questions you have as we go along. There is a little question box for you. Also, there will also be the opportunity at the end of the session to take yourself off mute and you can ask any questions that you have. The session is being recorded, so we'll get a copy of the recording out to you following the session, and please do feel free to share that with any colleagues who are unable to make today. I think that's it from me. Yeah, I think that's it from me. So let me just take you through today's agenda. Sorry, that one last thing from me is Noni will be taking you through the introduction to the prepayments module. This is a free module from Sage. We can get that configured for you and switched on for you. If you are interested in getting that on, do reach out to the customer success team and we can get that sorted for you. Noni will then be taking you through what prepayments are, how it works, and how to use it. So I will hand you over to Noni. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to switch to directly to Sage Intacct to do just a bit of a demonstration on the prepaid expense. So I'm gonna just give me a few seconds. Excuse me. I hope everyone can see my screen. So today I'll be taking you through how you can streamline your close process with automated prepaid expense amortization. But what is prepaid expenses? So a prepaid expense is a payment for goods or services that will be consumed in future periods. So with Sage Intacct, we have a module that is prepaid expense amortization, which allows businesses to automate the process of amortizing like prepaid expenses, for example, your rent, your subscription, insurances, just to name a few, over a relevant accounting period. So this helps ensure that expenses are recognized in the correct period, complying with like accrual accounting principles. So it increases accuracy and saves time by recognizing prepaid assets directly from bills. It shortens your close time by automatically generating journal entries for expense amortization, and it will ensure proper period cut-off by the accounting for expenses in the correct period. So how does it work? So firstly, you'll have to sign up for it, configure it with a consultant. Then it all begins with creating prepaid expense classes. Excuse me. With prepaid expense classes. So what you're seeing on my screen is the prepaid expense dashboard. So you can have a dashboard for your prepaids, which will show you the prepaid expense classes that you have, the schedules, a nice graph that I have here with the prepaid expense schedule report. Then we have a report with the expense schedules. So this module is integrated with the accounts payable module and the purchasing module. So I'm just going to go to the prepaid expense module. And as I've mentioned, that it all starts from having a prepaid expense class. So by having a prepaid expense class, then it with these classes, they play a very crucial role in the process of prepaid expense amortization. They help establish the duration of which the expense will be amortized. They specify the expense account to be debited during amortization, and they determine the journal to which the schedule entries to be posted. So it all starts from the prepaid expense classes. So I'm just going to go to the classes. So these are the classes that I have currently. So or you're just going to edit one of the classes that I'm going to use for the purpose of this session. So I have the prepaid expense class name, the GL account where it's going to, the GL account that will be debited, and the method, the schedule period. So I've scheduled it for 4 months, but you can schedule it for the duration of that prepaid expense. So once you have the prepaid expense classes added within the system, that's when you can now generate your you can add your prepaid expense. So for this session, I'm going to add an AP accounts payable invoice so that we can have we can generate some schedules. So I'm just going to add any supplier, and all the information will auto-populate from the supplier account, and the base currency, which is pounds. The account is rent. No. Okay, the account is for rent, and the rent, let's say it's £12,000. And should you want to add in dimensions, then you can do that. So I'm just going to add the location on the show details, because we've already set up the prepaid expense module. Then we will have additional fields on your supplier invoice. So then you select the prepaid expense class. I'm going to go for rent, the amortization start date, the 1st of July, and the prepaid expense schedule name. So it's rent 2025. I'm just going to leave it like that. And for we're going to leave out the prepaid expense schedules, because the schedules will then be created. We're going to create it once once we've posted. They'll be available in the prepaid expense module. So I'm going to post this transaction. Okay. I'm going to post this transaction. Okay, so I'm getting an error for this. I don't normally. So this is standard. Okay, post the transaction. Okay, excuse me. So once we've posted the supplier invoice, then I can go to the prepaid expense amortization. So as I go to the schedules, it does take a bit of a few minutes. So I'm going to refresh my browser. Okay, and you will have the prepaid expense schedules added. So I already tested using the rent 2025. The amount is different. Just going to wait for it to be processed and generated. Okay, so I'm just going to continue, and I'll go back once they've been created. So it will be created, they will be here. And once they're created, then you can, I'm going to edit this one that I've already created. And on the edit, it just shows you the schedule information that has been created from the bill. So it does mention here, I have the type, which is the AP, and the start date. The information, all the information comes from the um, comes from the uh, the AP bill. So I'm just going to cancel there, and I'm going to go here. Here, actually. Okay, so once it has been generated, so with this one, I've already it has already generated the schedule entries. So there is some statuses. There's a process on how that before the amortization schedules are generated. So I think it will be perfect if I show you once the one that I've created. Oh, here it is. So I have, this one is the one that we've created from the AP schedule, and I have all the information from the vendor, the prepaid expense schedule, the class that I used, the amount, and the status, which is on schedules generated. So once I click on the rent 2025, then I have all the information, and here I have the approve and start and generate amortization. So I'm going to generate the amortization schedules. Going to refresh a bit. Okay, and I have the 4 schedule entries generated. So with the status is the one that determines what you can do, the next process. So the review, it means that the entry is not ready to be posted as yet. So the status will now need to change to pending, where we can post to the general ledger. Okay. So I'm just going to go out and go to the prepaid expense amortization entries. And these are the entries that were created, and the status is still on review. So I'm just going to edit the status. I'm just going to go there. Going to select. I have to approve first. So I'm just going to wait for a few minutes, for a few seconds. So I'm going to approve and start. Excuse me. And as I refresh, the status will then change to pending. So we'll give it a few minutes so that it can process. So I think it might be my network. Okay. Okay, so it's going to change to pending. So I'll just wait for a few seconds, but continue. So with this one, the rent 2026, I have it as pending. So once you have it as pending, then it means that the entry is ready to be posted to the GL. Okay, so I'll just select that one, go to submit to posting services. So once the entries are ready to be posted and you're ready to post it, then you just select the entries and submit for posting. So I have this prepaid expense schedule entries that has been updated. So it is going to take a bit of some few seconds. So once it has been posted, it will be like this. So the status will change to posted, and you'll have a GL transaction hyperlink. So with the GL transaction hyperlink, you can click on it and it will take you to the journal entry that has been created. So this it's supposed to be rent, so I don't know what happened with when configuring. So the prepaid rent will be debited, and the expense account, which should be rent, will then be credited. So this process will streamline your month-end close. So you won't have to manually add the GL accounts, the journals. You will just, you can have a schedule as well to post on the date that you need it to be posted. So once all the schedule entries has been posted, then the schedule will change to completed. So I'm just going to go back to prepaid expense schedules. And I have one that has been completed, which is this one. So all the schedule entries have been has been posted to the GL, and the status is now on completed. Okay, so you can have all this information can be added to your dashboard so that you can have visibilities of the classes, the schedule entries that are waiting to be posted, and the schedules that have been created. Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions? Fiona, are there any questions?
Thanks, Noni. No, I've just checked. We've had no questions come in the question poll. So if there are any questions, you are now able to take yourselves off mute and you can ask away. We'll just give a minute for any questions to come through. Okay, I don't think we have any questions, Noni. However, if you do have something that comes to mind following this session, do please get in touch with myself or the support team, and we'll be able to assist you with any of those queries. As I mentioned at the start, the prepaid expense module is free and included in your subscription from Sage, but it does take some configuration and implementation. So if you are interested in setting this up in your site, please do get in touch with us as well, as we will need to go through the configuration steps with you. If we just pop back to the PowerPoint, if you can, please, Noni. I'll just wrap up. So next page. We'll have my email address on, so if you do have any questions, you can reach out on that email address. Perfect. There's my email address, fiona@acuity24.com. If you have any questions, please do reach out to me there. Our next learning lab will be on the 14th of August, and we'll be going through tips and tricks for tailoring report outputs with the financial report writer. Following that, we'll also have this Friday is a new release of Sage being downloaded to your system. So you'll notice a little bit of a change when you log in on Monday morning. We will be getting release notes out to you on Monday of our top 10 highlights. But of course, there are going to be a few changes when you first log in. Some of the list views may look a little different, so be aware that that is coming, but you can revert back to the default or the original list views. But do get in touch with any queries you have regarding the new release. We'll be getting our new release highlights out to you on the 11th, which is Monday, and then we will be putting on a learning lab to go through some of the new features in the new release on the, let me just pull up my calendar. on the 28th of August. So we do hope to see you on the next Learning Lab or on the 28th. Thanks again for joining, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed today's session. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.